I should start by thanking you for your time today. This fight's nearly upon us now, but can I ask if there had come a point where you'd actually given up on it?
You said what? Say it again?
The fight's almost upon us now, but in the years before now, had you ever given up on it not happening?
I'm a firm believer on timing is everything, so I never gave up on it. I just knew that if it was going to happen and it was meant to be, then it was going to happen. If it wasn't going to happen, it wasn't going to happen. So not that I'd given up on it. It's just, I wasn't. If it was going to happen, it was going to happen. If it wasn't, it wasn't.
Okay. What do you think of the time on it when you mentioned that word? Because, for example, we had the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight that didn't take place for a long time. When it finally did happen, it wasn't at its best. How do you feel by comparison about you and Terence fighting?
I feel no comparison about it. Floyd and Pacquiao made, 10 times as much as they would have made if they'd have fought back then. So, that's what, the naysayers and people, the critics say, but they're not complaining about it at all. They made 10 times, and this prize fight, not, it's not anything else. We do this for a living. We do this to make money. They're two mega guys of the sport. So if it was before its time, if it was way after its time, why people tune in to watch the fight? So Floyd's a boxer. Floyd's gonna box. Floyd's not as young as he used to be. So that's what he's gonna do. Pacquiao tried to come in, but Floyd is a master boxer, master craftsman. So he just kept him on the outside and done what he had to do without suffering any type of damage.
Sure. So how good a fighter is Crawford? Is he the best you've faced?
On paper, yes. He's a great fighter, very good skills, talent. Had the ability, has the mindset. He's a great fighter.
What was it like being around him on that press tour recently? Did you get any insights into him and his personality?
Oh no, he's the same. I don't look that deep into it. He was the same basically. I talk to him on the phone or when I see him around. Same person, nothing different.
That was actually going to be my next question, because for this fight to be happening, you two had to negotiate with each other, which is obviously quite unusual. How much did you get to know him? What sort of insights did that give you into him when you were negotiating with him via phone, etc.?
Give a little insight. Like we were just talking about personal life and kids, family, and investments and different stuff like that. Just filling each other out, talking to each other, getting a feel for each other. So, it was just regular talk.
Do you like him?
He's a cool dude. But I don't have to not like somebody to make a good fight or try to stop somebody. I spar guys I'm cool with all the time, and I try to kill their ass. So it's the same thing with me. He's trying to take food out my plate. I'm trying to take food off his plate. So we're going to war.
I'd like to ask you about Derrick James, please, because you know him better than any fighter. Over the past year, he has become the most in-demand trainer in the world. Knowing him as you do, what is it that makes him such a good trainer?
Just the details how he always, even if you're not doing it, even if you're doing it the right way, he's still gonna remind you, like keep your hands up. And a lot of times I'm like, I am keeping my hands up. And he was like, I know you keep your hands, I'm just reminding you to keep your hands up. So he's very detailed. He works on the small things because the small things can add up to big things, especially if there's a lot of them. So he works on the small thing, works on the little kinks and the stuff that he see, and works on fixing it. And what's good about him is he don't try to change you fully. Like he just see little bits and pieces he need to change, but he don't try to change you. Like he wouldn't, like not seeing how crazy he fights. He wouldn't try to change him and try to make him fight like Marco Antonio Barrera. he'll just, add little stuff, pieces to his game, but he'll keep it the same because it works for him.
Sure. Okay. Have you got an example in mind that reminds you of what a great trainer he is? I know what you just said there about he'll remind you to keep your hands up, but is there any more specific plays with you?
I like Emmanuel Stewart.
Sorry, I'm still talking about Derrick, Errol. Sorry, have you got a specific example in mind about something he's done that reminds you of what a great trainer he is when you've been working with him that perhaps no one else has ever seen?
He used to be a boxer, so he knows how it is, how you feeling when you're losing weight or when you're calorie deficient because it's fight week and you're feeling weak, and he said it'd be like, all right, that's enough for today, or we not gonna do that much today because you're feeling sluggish or you're feeling down. So I feel like he can relate more to boxers because he was an ex-boxer, so you know how it is losing weight. You know how it is when it's a sore day in the gym. You know how it is when you had a hard day and then the next day you feeling kind of down and sluggish. So I feel like he relates to the boxers more because he was actually a professional boxer. He done 8-10 rounds before he didn't fall out through the amateurs. So he come from more of a, I understand, a first basis because he understands because he was one of us.
Sure. Okay. He's now probably the busiest man in boxing. At least it seems that way. How difficult how has his schedule changed things, how he works with you? Because now he's got all of these big fights on his hands. That can't be easy.
Schedule haven't changed anything for me. Everybody get their own time. Like, I don't even see, I see Frank in the gym, or I might see Anthony Joshua, but it's like through passing. Like,
okay,
my time's over. I'm leaving the gym, then I see Frank, or I see Anthony Joshua, or I might see Ryan Garcia. So we never train at the same time. I might train with Frank at the same time, or if we had something to do, I might train with Anthony at the same time, but nobody's really training at the same. Everybody had their set times where they come and they train.
Oh, I was actually going to ask about your gym next. So Joshua has a big fight coming up. You've got a big fight coming up. Charlo has a big fight coming up. I know what you just said about you're not in there at the same time, but it must feel like the place is buzzing. You must all be feeding off of each other.
Definitely. We definitely feeding off each other. You always want to work hard because the other guys are working hard, and especially if you're in the gym together, like you got sparring, you try to spar a little harder, just because another top athlete watching you.
Sure, yeah. Now that your biggest fight is almost upon us, the biggest night of your career, can I ask how you reflect on that first car crash? Because that could have taken everything away from you, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't reflect on it. It's something that happened, so I take it for what it is, and it's a lot of gratitude that I'm here, and I'm blessed to be here, and I don't take it for granted, and I feel like the car crash really, saved my life in a sense, and got me back on the right track, and just focus on, what's important, and that's family, boxing, and making sure that that my kids are good.
Well, what do you mean by that, Errol, when you say it saved your life?
I'll just explain it to you.
Can I ask about how your recoveries from those now when you look back on them? Because, I mean, you've overcome those brilliantly to be able to get to where you are now, but that can't have been an easy road.
No, it wasn't an easy road at all. I feel like I was listening to a lot of motivational people like Eric Thomas and Les Brown, and just basically I went through recovery by myself. I didn't have physical therapists or mental therapists or anything. It was basically just me walking or running or being around my family and getting the comfort from them and just getting the focus and the energy from my kids and basically just being blessed, man, because I couldn't do it without someone looking over me and blessing me. Like, I got thrown from a car, so that had nothing to do with me. That's just I guess good genetics and just being blessed.
Did you ever fear that all this would be taken away from you?
Yeah, I thought so for a little bit, but I was just like, this is the this is really the only way I can get a lot of money. I get a lot of money fast, so I was like, shit, I'm gonna keep boxing. At least try to keep boxing. It started getting better all the time, and the pain started going away, and I started, getting back a little bit normal to what I was.
How did that compare with the eye injury? How much did you fear for your future then, and what was the recovery like from that?
Oh, the eye injury wasn't that bad. I just had to sit out for 3-4 months. I had to sit out for like 4 months. I feel like the eye injury, it was great too because I couldn't do nothing because I didn't know everything involved your eyes, lifting weights, doing everything. It involved your eye muscles too. So it really allowed me to sit down and rest for 4 months, no activity, no anything, just let my body rejuvenate, and I think it helped me more than anything.
I've got one more question, just because Kenneth told me we had to wrap up. I want to respect that. It was about one of your press conferences recently. There were suggestions that you were coming across as punchy, which really surprised me, frankly. Can I ask how you felt when you were told about that, or when you heard those accusations?
When they what?
In your press conference recently, people heard you speaking and were suggesting that you sounded like you were punchy. Can I ask how you felt about that when that was said? 'Cause that surprised me.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, everybody been hearing me talk since the amateurs and since I turned professional. I talk. I guess I got a slow Texas accent, so people say that I'm punchy, but hey, it is what it is, man. Can't please everybody.
Errol, thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Make sure everybody tune in July 29th on Showtime pay-per-view and order the fight. It's going to be amazing.